Had a great time with the movers and seekers yesterday. And none went out. None came in. And the Lord said to Joshua, "See, I've given Jericho into your hand, its king and the mighty men of valor. You shall march around the city, all you men of war. You shall go around the city once. This you shall do 6 days." How many days, church? 6 days. "And 7 priests shall bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark. But the 7th day you shall march around the city 7 times. And the priests shall blow the trumpets. And it shall come to pass, when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when you hear the sound of the trumpet, that all the people shall shout with a great shout. Then the wall of the city will fall down flat, and the people shall go up, every man straight before him." I want to read verse 5 one more time. The latter part, it says that all the people shall shout with a great shout. And what's going to happen? Then the wall of the city will fall down, and the people shall go up, every man straight before him. I want to just declare today, I can see October 2023 in our view. The wall came down and the people went up. That's what I want to talk about today. Come on, look at somebody and say, the walls came down and the people went up. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. My brothers and my sisters, God has given to us through our leader a mission possible initiative. I think it is important for me, anytime we look from Exodus to Leviticus to Numbers, Deuteronomy, and now even Joshua, the significance of what these people are endeavoring to accomplish. They have been a people who have spent their lives, generation after generation, building for Pharaoh, working to make the dreams and missions of others possible. Now God says, I want to give you your own mission. I want to do that corporately, but I also want it to be significant in your life individually. I want to highlight that because as we hear our leader declare mission possible for grace, you've got to always receive it, not just corporately for grace, but you've got to receive it personally. All right, let me just go back and give that to you again. Now, anytime you hear our pastor declare that the mission is possible corporately for grace, you've got to know by faith that that same grace is on your life, that your mission possible will be accomplished too. Now, this ain't for everybody, but I believe there are about 75 people that's got some personal missions, that's got some financial missions, that's got some professional and career missions, that's got some relational missions, that believe God for a child to come back home, that's believing God to answer your prayer. This still is the year of answered prayer. And I dare you to look at somebody and say, your mission is possible too. The same grace that is upon our church, the same grace that is upon our pastor. I thought I had some folk with faith today. The same grace that is upon this campus will be upon your house. What is amazing, however, is that the mission time and time again is never made possible void of obstacles and difficulties. You got to know that when we declare by faith that the mission is possible, it does not mean barriers won't try to block you. I want to talk about that this morning. That is my assignment, to help you to get over your discouragement. Some of you feel discouraged right now because you are on your journey to Mission Possible and you're faced with a barrier. You're faced with something that's trying to block you and hinder your progress. Who am I preaching to this morning that's ever been on the path of purpose, the path to your promise, and all of a sudden you got this one thing in the middle of the road that's hindering your progress? It ain't that you ain't got a word over your life. It's not that you don't have a promising future, but I can't get over, I can't get around what's trying to block me. And brothers and sisters, we've got to understand that as believers, we ought to expect the enemy to block us and to hinder us from progress when we're holding on to a promise from the Lord. I wish I had somebody in here this morning that can give God glory. Watch this, because the level of your blockage, the height of your hindrance is only an indication that what God is getting ready to do in your life is what eyes have not seen, what ears have not heard, what it has not entered into the hearts of men, what God has in store for you. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to look at the level of your challenge and give God glory, because that's an indication of what God is about to do in your life. I dare you to take 10 seconds. Folk don't think you crazy on your row, but I dare you to shout, because God is using your hindrance and your blockage to confirm how great your future is. You sit next to somebody that ain't believing God for nothing. Tell them, give me some room. I believe what's coming is greater than what's in my way. You got to understand, when there's a mission possible before you, the enemy will have his own mission possible to counteract your mission possible. So that is why the Bible says we must not be ignorant of the devil's devices, his schemes, his tactics. You've heard that from our pastor, that as soon as God gets ready to do something super in our natural, the enemy starts acting up. Because there's always a counter mission possible to cancel God's mission possible. So here you have it, a people that are on the heels of the wilderness. They're on the heels of this, in fact, is a different generation by this point, because for those of you that were good students and you were in Bible study last week on Tuesday, you will discover that because the 10 spies gave the negative report, and there were only 2 that gave a positive report, God relegated in Numbers 14 those who did not believe, those who were not a part of Joshua and Caleb's troop, to die in the place of their unbelief in the wilderness. Now God says, Joshua, because you were faithful, because you believed in spite of the odds that were stacked against you, because you believe that God can bless you despite what you lack, despite where you come from. This ain't for everybody, because life for some of you has been a crystal staff. But is there anybody that can say, all my life I had to fight, all my life I've had people doubting me, all my life I've had people putting stuff in my way, but I still believe? Well, this is Joshua and Caleb's generation, and they're on the journey. They've crossed the Jordan, trying to get finally to the place where God promised, where God promised their ancestors they would now be a living manifestation. See, some people don't understand your mission possible. Some people don't understand why you grinding so hard. For some people, their family is used to success. But for some of us that have a mission possible, I'm breaking a generational curse with this one. And you see, I told you everybody can't shout over there. No. That's why I'm fighting so hard to finish school, because I'm the first in my family. That's why I'm fighting so hard to keep my marriage, because mama and daddy got divorced. Grandmama and them got divorced. I'm believing God for some. That's why I'm trying to be financially free, because I done watched too many people die broke. This mission possible ain't for me. This is to be a manifestation of what my ancestors dreamed. That's the weight of this grace, that we're about to do something that's going to change the game. That's why 60% will not do. 99.5% won't do. All of us have got to be a part of God breaking a generational curse. So they're on the path, on the journey. And all of a sudden, a wall, a Jericho wall, a wall that is believed to be around 24 feet high. It's a tall challenge. It's a high order. It's a high obstacle. Some of y'all got some high enemies that's coming against you. Jericho's claim to fame is that their walls are so high you can't get over them. Their walls are so fortified you can't break through them. That's why it's important for us to put into proper context why we've had Survivor Celebration all month. Because for some people, they never thought they could get out of that domestic violence that they've been in. They never thought they could overcome that cancer diagnosis. They never thought they could be free through a mission possible. And you are here today because despite what's trying to stop you, you declare, devil, devil, you can slow me down, but you ain't gonna stop me. No, yeah, you can slow me down, but I will not be stopped. Look down your road and declare, I don't care what wall comes in I will not be stopped. Somebody ought to put it in the comments. I will not be stopped. No, I may get sad, but I won't be stopped. I will slow down a little bit, but devil, I will not be. You got to learn how not to allow yourself to get stuck in what's trying to slow you down. So what we going to do about these walls? How then does the mission become possible? Because some people easily, they would have just threw holy water at the wall. Name it and claim it, blab it and grab it. Do cartwheels like we just saw the cheerleader and think that the wall is going to come down. Look at somebody and say, it ain't going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. Here's what I discovered, church. Can I tell you what I've discovered? Success requires strategy. If you ever want to see possibilities, if you ever want to see the mission become possible, you've got to pray. Watch this. Lord, give me strategy for my wall. See, some of y'all just want God to just with a snap of the finger eliminate the problem. No, I need you, God. I want you to change your prayer right now. I want you to change. That's why you're not getting an answer, because God, you will not learn anything if God just took everything from. Sometimes you got to go through to learn what you need to learn by the time you get to where he's taking you. So Lord, here's my give me strategy for this situation. Come on, lift your hands right now. You may forget. I want you to pray it right. I don't know your situation, but I need you to lift your hands and say, Lord, I need strategy for this. Strategy, strategy, strategy. And that's why, people of God, it is so important to listen to and respect our leadership. Because God's method of conveying corporate strategy is to his leader. When God gives vision to your voice, your responsibility is to have an ear to hear the voice that you may run with the vision. Come on. God gives vision to our voice, and our responsibility is to listen in to the voice, because there was only one person that received the strategy. Only one person that received it. Only one person that received the strategy. I understand it. You're a supervisor at your company, but here at Grace, God gives vision to this voice. I understand it. You're the head of your house. That's cool. That's fine. But when God wants to convey strategy to Grace Baptist Church, he gives vision to our voice. And your responsibility is to be so flexible that, yes, you still be a good supervisor on your job, and you can still be big balling at home, but you still submit to the voice when you come into the house. And you know, God, Pastor, has a strange track record of giving the strangest of strategies. I mean, God don't just, do those things that, Lord, I could have thought of that. Every time God has ever given a successful strategy, it's always, Lord, where did you get that from? If vision that God gives to your leader or to you in your respective capacity don't sound crazy, it ain't from him. If it ain't a crazy vision, if it ain't a crazy strategy, it is not from God. Because if you can wrap your mind around it, then that means that your mind devised it. But my ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. When God starts speaking, you ought to say, okay, Lord, what crazy thing you gonna say today? And your responsibility is not always to understand the strategy. You just got to trust the process. Look at somebody and say, I may not always understand, but I am going to trust. Do I have about 100 people that can lift your hands and declare I'm a trust when God gets me to the other side, we'll understand it better by and by. But right now we're going to trust it and believe that it'll pay off. So I got a few minutes left, y'all. Can I tell you about the strategy? Listen to what God says, Pastor. He says, I need you to trust me on this. 6 days, walk around the wall one time. And here's what I need you to do. Keep your mouth shut. Oh, that's strange, God. See. Some of y'all talk too soon about what you gonna do and hadn't done nothing yet. So God says, I need you to trust me. Joshua, I need you to tell him. I need you to tell these people that's got some coloring in them. Sand-like complexion. I need you to tell these people of sand-like complexion. Look at somebody and say, he talking about us too. I need you to do this, and I need you to keep your mouth shut. Hold on, Lord. My followers need to hear this on Facebook. I need to post this on Instagram. I need to tell my family. No, he says 6 days. I need you to walk. Let your walking do the talking. Y'all gonna help me preach today? Look at somebody and say, it's a test, it's a test, it's a test, it's a test. Now ask them again, can you pass it? I need you to get your pen and your paper out, because there are 4 questions God wants to ask you, media. He wants to ask them. There is a corporate assessment and there is an individual assessment that you got to be able to check up before we shout about the walls falling. Number 1, here's the question upstairs. The first question that God wants to ask is, are you willing to be obedient? All right, let's work on this. The silence was a test of their obedience. I'm going to come back to the assessment in just a second. This is monumental for God to order them to go around the wall 6 days, all right, and don't say anything. Because since Exodus, they've been murmuring. Since Leviticus, they could never do nothing without talking about Pastor Moses. Since Numbers, they couldn't keep their mouth shut. Since Deuteronomy, they wouldn't do anything and they just kept complaining. And God said, I want to see if you can pass the test of just being obedient without saying anything. They couldn't do it with Moses. Every time Moses said something, oh, you brought us out of Egypt so we could die in the wilderness. We'd much rather be back there. All right, we got another mission positive. Well, that manna wasn't good enough. God could have gave us meat with this little bread. Well, that wasn't good enough. We need water. We thirsty. And it made Moses mad time and time again. again, they've never been able to do anything without mumbling and grumbling. And what I want you to understand is, even if you don't understand Mission Possible, God is saying, can you stay silent long enough to see it work out, and then you open up your mouth. Can I be obedient? It was a test. Silence is significant because it's a test of their obedience. Can I tell you the second test? The second test, let's look at our second one. Have you been focused? It was a test of, it takes a whole lot of focus to walk around what I really just want to throw rocks at. Walk around it. Don't say nothing. It takes a whole lot of focus to be quiet. But when God asks you to keep your mouth shut up, he's trying to do something in your mind. The reason your mouth needs to be silent is because there's a work that he wants to do on your mind. Because if you don't have a Mission Possible mindset, Mission Impossible will come out of your mouth. So let me close your mouth so that I can get your mind right, because watch this, mental preparation is important for maximum performance. If I can ever convince your mind, your mouth will change. If I can ever change your mind, your walk will change. Your habits will change. Your life will change. But God is saying, I got to close your mouth so I can focus your. This ain't for everybody. But somebody ought to touch your head and say, Lord, do a work on my mind. I've been listening to too much of the opinions of others. Do a work on my mind. I didn't let the inner me get in the way of what he said. Focus my mind. As they're walking around the wall 6 days in silence, God is focusing. It's going to take focus for a whole year of Mission Possible. It's going to take focus for you to accomplish your own mission. Can I tell you the third test that it was a test not just of obedience. It was not just a test of focus, but here have you remained consistent? It's a test of consistency. Let the church say consistency. If I can get you to do the same thing 6 days consecutively, I will have had a new habit and lifestyle develop in your life. Some of us, we can do it right one time, but can you do it 6 times back to back? That's why we're saying do it incrementally, so weekly. Devote some time monthly. Commit consistently to one ministry, because if God can get you in the rhythm of it, you won't have to wait till the next feeling to do it. Y'all missed it. If I can ever get you to obey beyond your questions, focus your mind, if I can get you in the rhythm of it, whether you feel like it or not. I wish I had some help in here. Some of you're not in a rhythm, you're in a feeling. But if I'm going to do something by October 2023, God's got to know that I trust him beyond how I woke up feeling this Sunday morning. They practiced it over and over and over and over and over again. And God said, because of your consistency, I'm getting ready to do a miracle in your life. There's one final test, and I'm out of your way. All right, first question. Have you been obedient? Have you been focused? Can you remain consistent? Here's the final thing. It's a test of unity. Can we do it together? Look at somebody, say, it only works when we do it together. He said, I want you to walk. Everybody gonna have to walk. No, I don't need this tribe to walk around and one day. I need all the tribes to get together, because when God's people get together, I said, when all of God's people get to, what a time, what a time, what a time. What can we do when we get together? When we get beyond our preference, when we get beyond our way of wanting it to be done. And when we can say, I need God just like you need God. I'm believing God that he has connected us together. They had to walk around the wall 6 days one time. On the 7th day, I feel like preaching now. If God can get you to pass the test of silence, he'll give you something to shout about. I come to tell somebody, if you can trust God to keep your mouth closed in God's own time, look down your row and say, he'll give you something to shout about. I don't know who I'm preaching to today, but God's getting ready to give you something to shout about. And can't you see them? They're walking around the walls. They're walking around the walls one time. All right, we're going back home today. Can't say nothing. 2 times. On the 2nd day, can't say nothing. All right, let's go back home. On the 3rd day, still can't say nothing. We gotta just be obedient. We gotta be focused. We gotta be consistent. We gotta do it together. And watch this, because they passed the test of silence, God gave them something to shout about. And I dare you to fist bump somebody and tell them, God is getting ready. Y'all ain't preaching to nobody. Find you somebody else and say, God is getting ready to give you something to shout about. If you can hold your peace and let the Lord fight your battles, victory shall be yours. And notice, because they were willing to trust God and pass the test of silence, God said, I got one final test. He said, I need to know. This ain't just going to be about your obedience. It's not going to be about your focus. It's not just going to be about your consistency. And it's not just going to be about your unity. But can I give y'all one last thing? God says, I want to see, can you take your cues? Come on, just lean over to somebody and ask them, can you take your cue? The other week, I was trying to figure out something. I was trying to figure out how there was not the most perfect of chemistry sometimes between me and the praise team during certain songs. And I found a shift in my lesson from our worship and arts director. He said, Pastor, sometimes what you don't realize is you don't give effective cues. That blessed me, because I was trying to figure out how I was going to close my message. And God said, what Anthony told you is what I was trying to tell him in Joshua 6. He said, listen, when you shout, this ain't a shout that you gonna start. But he said, I want you to wait on the cue. And it ain't gonna be a moving of the hand. But he said, when you hear the sound of the trumpet, I want to know what it sounds like. When you hear the sound of the trumpet, he said, y'all gonna walk around. I want you to walk around. I want you to walk around but some gonna happen because I still need you focused. I still need you obedient. I still need your consistency. I need you to do it with unity. But the preacher is gonna blow the trumpet. What that sound like, y'all? The trumpet is gonna sound, and when you hear the trumpet, I need all the people that kept their mouths closed. Come on, a little bit more. When you hear the trumpet, everybody gonna have to shout. And I see some of y'all, you sitting in your seat, but the trumpet is sounding now. And when you hear the sound of the trumpet, I need to hear more trumpet, y'all. Yeah, you at home right now, but when you hear the sound of the trumpet, everybody gonna have to get their mind focus on Jesus. What you shouting about? My God shall supply all you need. Blow the trumpet, cause no weapon formed against me shall be able. Blow the trumpet, blow the trumpet. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but God is going to deliver us out of them all. I need somebody on the count of 3. Y'all ready to shout? Don't shout because you see the wall falling. In fact, when God told them to shout the first time, the walls were still up. Can you still shout like God's already given you victory when the walls are still up? Y'all ain't hearing me. Don't wait till the battle is over. On the count of 3, if you hear the trumpet, open up your mouth. 1, 2, 3. I'm ready for you upstairs. And while the people were shouting, walls started falling. Let's go home now. Is there anybody that's ready to walk on what you walked around? God sent me here to tell you, because you walked around it in faith, you're going to walk on it in victory. Y'all miss your shout because you walked around it in faith. You're going to walk on it in victory. I dare you to high-five somebody and tell them, neighbor, because you walked around it in faith, get ready, get ready. You about to walk on it in victory. 1, 2, 3. Give him a praise. Walk on it. 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 I know you don't know how he's going to do it, but God said if you can just get out of your seat, get you some room, get in the aisle, come to the front. We get ready to walk on. When we walked around, ain't God able? Ain't God able? I need about 100 people. Walk on it, baby. Walk on it. Walk on it. Walk on it. Walk on it. The walls came down. The people went up. Let's go up. Let's go up. Let's go up. Yeah. 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 I'm going to my seat, but I need somebody. Let's give them some shout music. This is your walk on it praise. You done had enough walking around, but I dare somebody give God a walk on it praise. Yeah! Y'all ain't walking. I dare somebody walk on it. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!